What is up, everybody? How is it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good day so far. TGIF. I am feeling a hell of a lot better today, thankfully. Feeling good. Got my spark back a little bit. Feeling good. So, as you were all tuning in, let me know how your day is going. Let me know have any fun weekend plans going on. Just drop a like, drop a fire emoji. Let me know that you're here, so I know that you're tuning in. And if you're watching the later time, hashtag replay so I know that you saw it. But today we're going to be talking about how you are truly limitless. And the reason why I want to talk about this topic today is because yesterday, and it's not just been yesterday, but it's been kind of an ongoing thing. Um, but very specifically yesterday, we were told about that. What's up? Um, and so part of what kind of has transpired is that there are kids in my kid's class that are telling him that he can't twirl, that he can't have long hair, that he can't do these things because those are things that girls do. And it got me thinking. One, it kind of got me in like Papa Bear mode and kind of like pissed me off a little bit, obviously, just because we care about our kids and we want to be there for them and support them as much as possible. But it got me thinking about ourselves and our own limitations that we set on ourselves or have had placed on us from a very young age, right? And a lot of us have definitely, like, whether you know it or not, you have definitely been influenced or impacted by people in your life. Like, absolutely have, especially from a young age. Maybe you were told that maybe you were the kid that was always like more bigger, or like the bigger kid, right? And so for your whole life you've been told like you're just a big kid, or you're just big boned, or like you're just not the athletic kid, like, you know what I mean? Like there's always these things, like whether maybe it was your parents that said it, or maybe it was other kids in your class, or your friends, or your teachers, who knows. Maybe they would always say things like you're always going to be a failure, just you always quit things, like maybe that's what you have had said to you over these years, right, from a young age. And I want to let you guys know, like you guys are capable of anything that you want to do, that you can set your mind to. Like it can be done, right? Like, just like a perfect example. And I know that the Wright brothers technically didn't invent the airplane, right? But humans, at some point they're like shit, like, I want to fly like birds fly. Guess what? We fucking invented airplanes, right? Like if there's something that you want to do, like, people are like, I want to go explore space. Guess what? We learned how to build a fucking rocket ship, right? Like there are things like we are truly limitless, right? We are truly limitless, and if there's something that we want to do or we want to accomplish, in your life right now, like if you want to lose weight, if you've always been told that you were the bigger kid, right? Or if you're skinny, right? If you're really skinny and someone's always said, and you want to get bigger, right? You want to build muscle. You just always been told your whole life, like you're the skinny kid, like it's hard for you to lose weight, or it's hard for you to gain weight, right? Like, and guess what happens over time? If you get told something enough, right? This goes for good shit and bad shit, right? Like, positive stuff is awesome. It can go in a really good direction, build a really good positive momentum, build a lot of like self confidence, like a positive self image. It can go in the opposite direction too, though, right? If you're constantly being told something negative, eventually that's going to be, the more you hear that voice and the more that you're surrounded by that environment, the more you're going to start to like believe that yourself, right? Because their voice becomes your voice, right? And we don't want that. If it's a negative voice, right? And so, that's kind of like the concept of, like that's honestly another reason why, why people teach, right? Or I do these lives, is because I want to put good information out there that starts to circulate in your head. I want to put positive mindset shit that starts to circulate in your head. And so you start to believe it more, because that becomes the more prominent voice. Eventually my voice starts to become your voice a little bit, in a sense. And I want to influence that in a positive way, because, we all deserve to be happy, and we all deserve to have a strong, positive mindset and self-image and confidence, right? And so that interaction, with these kids at my at my kid's school, and that's just a part of life, and it's one thing. It's going to be an opportunity to build tough skin, and also learn that it's a teaching point. So in a sense, it's something that is unfortunately inevitable, and it's a part of everybody's life at some point or another. But it's one of those things that, from a young age, I'm teaching my kid that he can be whoever the fuck he wants to be, right? And if somebody doesn't like that, they can get the hell out of our lives, because they don't, if you don't, believe that somebody can be who they want to be or do what they want to do, as long as it's not hurting you, right? Then if you're not in that camp of supporting people for who they want to be and who they want to become, like, you have no place here, right? Like, you have no place in our lives, or in our program or anything like that. And so it's one of those things, like, you are truly limitless. Like, the only thing that you can't accomplish is what you tell yourself, right? Nobody else can make that decision for you. But we got to be careful who we surround ourselves with, and we have to be careful what we're saying, right? To our kids, to ourselves, to others, because words have power. They do. Words have power. They can tear people down, or they can bring people up, right? And so I encourage you guys today, if there's something like that going on in your life right now, like, start surrounding yourself with better people, right? Start telling yourself, start listening to more positive voices, voices that aren't setting limitations on people, because at the end of the day, and it's one of those things. It's like, people who set limitations on others, they're the ones who are truly, like, in a box. They're the ones that are truly, like, stuck in their own way. They're like, it's one of those things that, in a sense, I feel bad for those people, but at the same time, I also, Papa Bear mode makes me want to, like, crush those people and tell them that they're wrong, and shake the ignorance out of them. But you can't do that shit. So, but at the end of the day, right? Like, you are limitless. Like, you guys can do whatever you want to do, right? You have the freedom to choose to do that for them. Like, hopefully, right? Like, you can choose to get in shape. You can choose to go through a weight loss journey. You can choose to be whoever you want to be. Like, just because you've been told that you're something or you're somebody your whole life doesn't mean that you can't become somebody else, right? If that's who you want to be, right? Nobody can make you do anything that you don't want to do, truly, unless it's like some kind of, like, like, really bad relationship type of situation. But outside of that, if you're an average person, right? If you're just like me, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. And I want to remind you of that. No matter what your goals are, if you're a woman and you want to get jacked and be strong as fuck and, like, be a bodybuilder, by all means, like, go freaking do that shit, right? Like, if you want to be, like, a strong woman or do, like, powerlifting, like, freaking do that shit, right? Like, if you're a parent and the whole time you've been a parent, people have just been like, oh, this is just what parents do. This is just what parents are. Like, parenting, like, once you have kids, like, you just gain a bunch of weight and that's just it, and you're just unhealthy and all this other shit. That's bullshit. You don't have to do that. You can be whoever you want to be, right? You can be a fit parent. You can be a parent that does whatever they want to do. Like, just because, being a parent doesn't mean you're not a person anymore, right? And I feel like a lot of times parents forget that, because it's what we've been told a lot, by what a good parent looks like, or what a good, like, whatever, what a woman looks like, what a man looks like, what a person looks like, or in this niche. Like, don't put boxes or put, like, limitations on yourself, because you can literally do whatever you want to do. And I can't emphasize that enough, guys. I can't emphasize that enough, because, like, at the end of the day, like, it at the end of the day, anybody can do anything. My kid can wear pink. My kid can have long hair. My kid can like to twirl. He can like rainbows. He can like fucking unicorns. I like a lot of that shit too. Anybody can do whatever they want. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want to. And don't let other people's voices become the voice in your own mind. So surround yourself with good people. Spread love, spread kindness. That's all I really got for you guys today. Just want to touch briefly on that. But like honestly, like, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, January just started and it's a new year. Like, if there's something that you want to accomplish and you've always been told that you can't, believe me that you freaking can, right? Believe me that you freaking can. Like, there, like, and that's one thing I feel that I'm very fortunate with, is that, from a young age, my parents were always very encouraging of me to do my own thing and find my own path and be my own person, right? Like, whenever I was in high school, yeah, I played sports and I like doing all that shit, but I also love singing. I love dance. I'm not good at dancing, but I like dancing. And I did musicals. I did choir. I played basketball. I played baseball for a time. I played tennis. Like, I did track. I was athletic, but I also liked singing and dancing and doing like musicals and shit like that. And guess what? My parents were always very encouraging of me to find my own path and do my own thing and not to like let people set limits on me. And I'm super grateful for that. And that's part of why I am who I am today. And you have the opportunity to do that for your kids too, right? You have that opportunity to set that standard and set the tone and be, the parent that you always wish that you might have had, right? You have that opportunity to be that for your kids right now. And whether that's athletic, whether that's, fit, healthy, like confident, whatever that is for you, and you want to emulate that and be that for your kids and instill that into them, you can freaking do that right now. Even if you don't feel like it right now, you can. You don't let people set limits on you, and don't set limits on yourself, because you guys can accomplish crazy things. Like we can do incredible things, and just these last couple of years have proven that to me more and more than ever. And at the end of the day, I want to remind you guys, like, I'm not fucking special. Nobody's special. Anybody that you see that has done insane like things, they're not special. They're just ordinary people that got consistent as shit, and they got a goal in mind that they wanted to accomplish. That because it mattered to them and it became a priority to them. So pick your priorities and pick what you want for yourself. Don't set limits, and do whatever the fuck you want to do, because it's your life, right? And you only get one of them. So yeah, make the most of that shit. Other than that, though, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you got value from this, feel free to give this video a like. Drop a comment what your number one takeaway was. What is a limitation that you've had set on you in the past, right? That you said, hell no, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm doing what makes me happy. I'm doing what, brings me joy. Because I feel like you guys should do that. I feel like you should pursue that. I feel like, everybody's entitled to, you know, chasing after their own happiness and being the person that they truly want to be. So yeah, if you don't like that, get the fuck out of my get the fuck off my friends list. Get out. Yeah, you know what? Like, that's fine. Like, we probably would not get along very well if you do not if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, if you're not vibing with what I'm saying right now. So this is a place of equality. This is a place where anybody can be anybody. And if you don't like that shit, then tough shit. See you later, wet cardboard. Stay in your box. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you got value. TGIF, have a good freaking Friday. Have a great fucking weekend. And other than that, yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys later, because I'm a man and I love purple. I'm a man and I have long freaking hair at times. And I'm a man and I like to twirl with my son. And that's freaking okay. So talk to you guys later.